Welcome to the Willy Mo Show. Today we're going to be going over NBA playoff bets for this Thursday night. We have two great elimination games on the menu. First up, Trailblazers versus Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets just stole a game in double overtime, while Damian Lillard dropped a 55 bomb. It was one of the most astonishing performances that we've seen in recent playoff history. And it was kind of sad to see Damian Lillard not come away with a win. He fought and clawed so hard, but he just got no help from his team. So we're going to find out, can Damian Lillard actually lead this group past the Denver Nuggets? Now this game's going to be played in Portland, and right now the Trailblazers are 5-point favorites. Total sits at 227.5. The Trailblazers have had their backs against the wall. So far this year, teams facing elimination have an abysmal record of 1-5. Now, most of that has been in the East, and that's kind of what we know the East to be. We know there to be a really big gap in power. The West, not so simple. The West is known for having deep series that go to Game 6's and Game 7's. It feels like deja vu. Back in 2019, this same Portland Trailblazers team was down 3-2 to Denver. They win Game 6 in Portland, they go back to Denver, and they win Game 7 in advance. Will we see it again? Now obviously Damian Lillard has been on fire, unconscious the other night from the three-point line. But interestingly enough, the Blazers are shooting 13% better in Denver than they have been in Portland. And while we think of Damian Lillard being the most important player, or Jokic being the most important player, and so far it's actually been Nurkic. All three of Portland's losses, Nurkic actually fouled out. And he has been the most influential player when he's in the game. Portland actually has outscored Denver by 54 points when Nurkic is on the court. Only problem is they can't keep him there. And he'll be there for the first 3 quarters, but eventually he fouls out. This is not random. Nikola Jokic is a genius when it comes to this stuff. He puts them in bad positions and he takes advantage. Will Jokic be able to do that again tonight? Because if Nurkic is on the court for an entire game, the numbers show us that the Portland Trailblazers are the better team. And while Nurkic didn't have a single foul out the entire season, he's now fouled out in 3 of 5 games. When I look at the odds for this one and I see that Portland's favored by 5 points, it seems like a lot. To give a team that's down 3-2, they just had their best player put an all-time performance out there and still lose a game. I could see being favored by 2, maybe 3, but 5 whole points. That's a lot of points. Now, whoever's won so far in this series, they've won each game by more than 5 points. So if you do correctly pick the winner, in theory, you have a good chance of pulling away. But 5 points, way too much for this close series, especially with the chances that Denver has to actually close out the series tonight. And that's why I have to ride with Denver getting 5 points. Even more so, I like to bet the over in this game. Over 227.5 makes sense right now. Total has been over 227.5 4 out of the 5 games. Now, they did just play a double overtime game, a few states down, and they could have really tired legs. But honestly, neither of these teams have been playing very good defense either. So with tired legs, I also think is going to come bad defense. I like over 227.5. The numbers point towards it. I don't think this total has moved up enough. And now we dive into the primetime matchup of the night. We got Suns versus Lakers. Right now, the Lakers are favored by 2 points, and Anthony Davis' status is questionable. That could determine everything, whether Anthony Davis is cleared to play or not. He left it up to the doctors. He's not even making the decision on his own. The Lakers just got blown out, got the brakes beat off them. But now we look at it, and they're still sitting as the favorite. If history shows us anything, this team has a good chance to get closed out tonight. But let's not forget about something. LeBron James has never lost a first-round playoff series. LeBron is possibly the greatest player ever when facing elimination. When his back's against the wall, that's when we see the best version of him. He takes over games. He's averaged 33.7 points per game when facing elimination, which is the most of all time. But this year, LeBron has averaged the least amount of points per game since his rookie year at just 25 points a game. And specifically looking at this series, his numbers are not that impressive. 22 points a game, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. And he has showed signs of aging. He does look tired at times. That's a par. points, assists, rebounds of just 37. But right now the sportsbook has his par over/under set at 48. That is a huge increase. And that's because they're banking on him to have another one of his masterful elimination games. We've seen some of the best versions of LeBron in these moments, but has age finally caught up to him? LeBron needs to be aggressive and attack the basket. If he wants to score in the series, he cannot settle for three-pointers. He has to drop. Lately, the problem has been that Andre Drummond is sitting in the middle and clogging up space. When Andre Drummond moves out of the key to try to bring defenders, it's not respected. DeAndre Ayton does not feel the need to go out to Andre Drummond and defend his mid-range jump shot. Andre Drummond poses no outside threat, and he cannot stretch the floor. He's an old big that's going to play post up, and he's going to get you rebounds. They're going to use him less because they want to open up the floor for LeBron to drive and get to the hoop. LeBron has to do it early, and he has to set the tone. For this reason, I believe Drummond's going to play less, and right now his points and rebounds total for his prop is set at 20. This series, he's been perfectly even when it comes to that 20-point total. He's been over 20 twice, under 20 twice, and he pushed once. With the chance of Anthony Davis playing, and with LeBron needing room on the court, I think the Lakers might go a little smaller. That's why I'm going to be locking in LeBron under 48 par and Andre Drummond under 20 points and rebounds. And don't get me wrong, I love LeBron. LeBron's the greatest player of all time in my eyes. But tonight, I'm betting against him. I think the Suns are the better team. The value lies on these unders. And I'm not going to say that it's a guarantee. He's had amazing performances in the past. But if we're going by the numbers and we're looking for value, look no further. Hey, all I do, I throw you some stats, I give you some storylines, and I show you where the value lies. Tonight, just a recap, I'll be taking the Nuggets, getting 5 points. I'll be taking over 227.5 in that game. And then in the later game with the Suns and the Lakers, I'll be taking LeBron's player prop to be under 48 par. And I'll be taking Andre Drummond's player prop to be under 20 for points and rebounds. But hey, you know what they say, mo money is better than no money. I'll see you guys tomorrow.